Hello, my name is Kevin and welcome to Love Decanters channel. So this is the final part of my visit to Hemswell Cliff Antiques Centre. And also, I noticed in the last couple of weeks that I haven't updated my website for over a year. And I've made lots of little changes to it over the last year, but I haven't actually released any of them. And I would like to make the change. If I'm not going to do it for over a year, I wanted to make it a bit of a bigger change. So I'm going to take a bit of time out from video making. There will be the odd video over the next couple of weeks, but not. I won't be doing any more visits because those are very time consuming. Putting these together, I think there's like over 50 cuts in this film alone. So that's over 200 cuts of film in doing the Hemswell Antiques. And yeah, I spend ages. The bits where I don't find anything are the bits that are really time consuming. So anyway, over the next couple of weeks there'll be a bit less, but when I do my next release of my website, hopefully there will be a lot more glass in it. I have done lots of new references in it and made quite a lot of corrections, and I've added. Anyway, I'll probably do that as a video. When I do the release of the new video, I will show you what's new in it. But anyway, with that said, let's get on with this film before I fall down my own rabbit hole. It's got some beautiful Venetian glasses here. They're very nice. Posing glass, that's cute as well. This book is British Glass, 1800 to 1914 by Charles Hajdemach. And yeah, so this is Burmese ware, so the label said Burmese. If it was made in the UK, it would be by Thomas Webb, because they bought the license for this glass. It was a process invented in America, and they bought the license for it. I was a little bit worried when I first started looking, because all the pieces I was seeing in the various places were matte, had a matte finish on them. But on the next page, although this isn't colour, that piece really has a gloss finish, I suppose you'd say. So yeah, he's saying these are all late 1800s, 1890s. These are undecorated, it's this kind of thing. So yeah, so this would be the same pink through to yellow. So there you go, that's what that is, and it is late 19th century, get the century right. And I don't think the stopper's right for that one, but it's still a nice combo. More of these Bohemian glasses. What's he got down here? Oh, look at. So this is nice jelly glass. I think that's 1790. That's a very reasonable date. I think that's good. The book I'm looking at here is 18th century English drinking glasses by L.M. Bickerton, and the glass in form that was closest to the one that we were looking at is this one here. Now this one doesn't have panel moulding, but what it does have, the shape of the bowl is pretty identical, and it does have this sort of rudimentary knob stem here. The date he's saying is late 18th century. The foot on this is a bit smaller, and in fact the foot on most jelly glasses is usually smaller than the one we saw there. I don't think that's a serious problem though. I think it's just an anomaly, but yeah, it looks like a very nice glass. I'm really loving the lemon squeeze, but he wants £45 for it. Yeah, it's calling me, but it's not hard enough. But that is really nice lemon squeeze base, salt boat, and it's probably might be pre-1800, might be Irish. They did plain ones. Let's go on to the other side. The book I'm looking at here is Irish Glass by Dudley Westropp. This is the only reference I have for a plain pedestal salt boat. The base is not quite the same though. Yeah, and I can't really tell how round it is. Is it as round as the one we were looking at? So I don't have many references at all. I think for this type of pedestal salt boat, there's another one here, and there's a couple in the other books, but I do have, I probably own more than I actually have in references, a lot more. And let's have a poke into my collection. I have a few pictures I'll share with you now. So here we're delving into the gubbins that's from my website. This is a section that's not been built yet. But anyway, there will be a section on pedestal salt boats at some point. This is the one that's closest to the one that we were looking at. Let me blow it up. There you go. Now, what's interesting about this one, the base is like the one that we were looking at. So it's molded. The top has not been repolished. It's a squeeze thing, and then the shape of it, the form of it is sort of like rounded without very sharp prows on each end. It was like that. This one, I believe this one is an Irish one as well, because it has a feature. I said I don't have many references. One of my other reference books has one with lines cut on it like this tightly. This is a feature that I've only ever seen on these. So yeah, I think this one stands a chance of being Irish as well. So there is a possibility the one we were looking at might be Irish. I can't make any firm comment on that, but there's a decent chance of it. It's also quite a little bit bigger than most of the ones I've got, so yeah, that's another difference on it. Anyway, officially I don't collect them, even though I've got quite a lot of them. I just see them if they're really cheap. I just pick them up. As much as I really wanted that one, £45 was too much for me. It is a really nice thing though. It's good glass here. I am going to start at the top. We've got this Webb Corbett decanter here from the 1930s, designed by Herbert Webb. Very iconic piece. I'm going to cheat again by using my own website here. I could have shown you a book or whatever, but it's easier to do this, or it is for me because I know exactly where everything is. So yeah, it's Webb Corbett. This is the decanter here, and when I said it was an iconic design, look at all the references. 1, 2, 3. I've got 4 book references there. I could probably, you know, if I keep searching forever, I would find more. But there's 4 clear, good book references, and there's also a factory pamphlet with it in. And out of that, I've been able to get the date, which is 1933, Herbert Webb, and the patent number. So yeah, it is a well documented decanter. Yeah, it's a very nice thing. I think I've got glasses to go with this. I think. Do I have the glasses? I think I have. Oh, there it is. There you go. And those are the glasses that go with it. This looks very Wiener Werkstatt. What's he got on it? Baccarat. Yeah, I don't know it, but very nice design. Yeah, this is early Victorian, 1850 to 70s. That's very nice too. Nice jug in the back. Let's see. This looks very German. Yeah. This is nice as well. This is again 1850 to 70s. £23. That is a very good price. I'm going to cheat again by using my website again, because you know the bits that I do have are well covered. So Victorian frosted in the glasses section. I do have quite a few of these. So this frosting process is a process that commercialized by Richardson's at the beginning of the 1850s, and then I think it was kind of like popular for about 20 years or so. So a lot of people were doing it. You can see there's quite a few different patterns. Not all of them are Richardson's. This one's Whitefriars one. It's in the Whitefriars book. So yeah, and this one, although people say this is Richardson's, it too is in the Whitefriars book. The pattern is, but this one is actually a registered pattern by Richardson's. It probably is Richardson's. I get the impression from what people are telling me that Richardson's did most of it, but obviously other people were licensing the technique for doing this frosting, and it did spread around for quite a while. And you also see it on some press glass from that era as well. So yeah, so this is the kind of glass it is. I do have several. I think that I've got more than what's in these pictures. But anyway, yeah, if I hadn't been told we're going now, I would have gone back and got that glass. But I was told we're going now. I think that £23 was a bit of a bargain. What else has he got? He's got this tankard, nice earlier handle, so that's probably pre-1870s, but I don't know when exactly. He's got some milk glass here, looking very Victorian. This one looks a bit more Georgian-y, but this one's looking very Georgian. Yeah. What's he got on the label? What has he got on the label? 1800, yeah, I will check that out. This is the Country Life Book of Glass by Frank Davis. So sometimes when you're looking at this old school collectible glass, it's nice to pull out an old school collectible book. So this book's from 1966. So when this book was made, this kind of glass was very collectible. This is the jug that we were just looking at, almost exactly. Obviously, he had a very nice sugar bowl to go with his. And he's saying late 18th century or early 19th century run-of-the-mill jugs. Now, a jug like this, I know these ones, the blue ones, you hardly ever see the milk glass ones, but the blue ones used to be like £100 a pop when I started collecting. I don't know how much they are now. I imagine one of these with the jug has got to be, you know, 100, 120 pounds, 30 pounds. And I'm talking, you know, 25 years ago. But now he's selling one for 55. So it does look like a very good price. But on the other hand, it might be more a sign of how less collectible these things are now. Looking in here, got a couple of Webb. Oh, they're marked. Yeah, this pattern's called Wave. They've been doing it sort of like since post 1900 sometime. But this is part of the Gay series of glass from the 1930s. But yeah, the bowls with the little plates, never seen that before. The book I'm looking at here is 20th Century British Glass by Charles Hajdemach. Now, I said the bowls with the little plates were from the Gay glass series or range that Thomas Webb did. And I'm wrong. So there's the shape we were looking at. Now, the pattern on those is called Wave. In here he tells you the patterns used were plain, Venetian ripple, known as in the trade as heavy pillar, cut water lily, and old English bullseye. So that pattern was called Wave. Now I have heard some people say Venetian ripple is Wave and it's the same thing, but he said it's also known as heavy pillar. So we can look at another book and look at the patterns. This book is British Glass 1800 to 1814, and yeah, this is Wave here, and you can see this is what it was like 1908. Pillar isn't on this page, but it is over here, and that's pillar. So pillar is nothing like wave. There is no Venetian ripple in all of this, but if it's also known as pillar, or then it's not wave, is it? So there we go. Yeah, it's a little surprise to me. I thought those would be gay series, but I'm wrong, because when you read the small print in the book, it says, well, it just doesn't include wave. So there you go. And you got this here. Yeah, he's saying it's 1790. He might be right. I don't know. I'm not really handled enough of this stuff to really be certain. I see them in the books all the time, but yeah. This book is British Glass, 1800 to 1914 by Charles Hajdemach. And the section we're in is, yeah, fakes, forgeries and reproductions. And this is why I was a little bit uncomfortable, because if you remember earlier with the white one, I was saying, yeah, these were very popular, they're very expensive. They were like £100 a jug 30 years ago. Here's one here. Okay. It's got, you can just about make it out. It's got a little picky tail and everything. It's a copy, okay? But other people were copying them. And because they were very collectible and cute, people thought they were cute back then. So when that would have been bought back in 1934, it'd have looked brand new. However, 1934 is 90 years ago now. So people are not faking them today. But unfortunately, the brand new ones are now 90 years old. So they have a bit of wear and tear. The glass will look better than usual, but I've not handled enough of them to sort of like hold it up to the light and feel like I've not owned one, because when I started collecting, these were like £100 a shot and very difficult to find, and every dealer knew what they were. So yeah, I don't know is the answer. I was a bit more comfy with the white one. It kind of felt right, especially with a little bowl and everything. I've seen that before, but that one I was a bit unsure. Looked a bit bright, and without me stopping the film and having a good old rummage at it, and I had been told that I couldn't work too long either. So yeah. So anyway, I was a little unsure of that one, but yeah, there were a lot of copies out there, so you do need to be careful. Look at them very carefully if you're thinking of buying one. What else is here? Go down a little bit. I think this is Stevens and Williams. Yeah, we can try and pull that out of the book. This book is Decorative Victorian Glass by Cyril Manley. Now, I thought these leaves were done by Stevens and Williams, but we have a number of makers on here. So this one, and this one are Stevens and Williams, and this one, and this one, and this one are Bolton and Mills. So yeah, my thoughts are, I wonder if anyone else is doing these kind of curly leaves like this, you know, because these all look very, that one and that one, they look similar. They're just different colors, but as a decorative technique, it's the same. So that makes me a little bit worried. You know, Victorian art glass is not my area of expertise, so I thought I need to take a deeper dive. And this book is The Glass of John Walsh Walsh by Eric Reynolds. And yeah, so the bowl was kind of shaped like this, a bit tight around the top. But they're doing curly leaves as well. Yeah, and there's more in the other pictures here. So yeah, that's more worrying, because it's definitely not a identifying feature of a manufacturer. And this book is British Glass, 1800 to 1914 by Charles Hajdemach. And yeah, So these are factory pictures from Stuart Crystal, and yeah, they're doing these leaves as well. This is from, I think down here, he's got one here with these leaves going over the top. This is from 1887, so we know it's late 19th century. It might be Stevens and Williams, but it might be one of these other companies. I think from what I've seen, it's probably going to be Bolton Mills or Stevens and Williams, because of those are the ones that most closely resemble. But it does look, as a feature, these sort of like leaves with a vein down the middle and curly leaves on each side. Yeah, lots of people were doing them. What else is here? That's a nice jug there. That's a super nice jug. Oh, and it's got glasses. Look at those. Look at those. Those are super nice. £58 worth of glasses. Yep, that is a very good price. Oh, and he's got a butterfly set here. I think these might be Bagley. We can check that out. I think that's the complete set, so that's quite nice. There was a claret jug we were looking at earlier, and I said I thought it was Christopher Dresser, and yeah, so he is listing this one as Christopher Dresser. There's a big plate. Look at the top. Can you see what I mean about the disc top? Yeah. So that's a Dresser style top. Not all of his tops were like that, but that is one of his styles. Yeah, I have decanters like this. So yeah, this is very nice. £195 though, but he knows what it is. This book is called Dresser, the People's Designer. This is like half book, half catalogue. They were selling someone's collection. His name's Harry Lyons. And yeah, so there is the jug we were looking at. And he's saying, yeah, it's an M30. He's saying £1,000. They haven't given a date. Shape 2521, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, so here it is. But I can do better than this because I have one of these jugs and we can have a good close-up look at it. Mine's not polished, but who cares? I can still give you a close-up look at it. So here is my jug. Unlike the one that was in the shop, this is a silver one, not plate. It's got the mark here for Hugh and Heath, Birmingham, and the silver, that's 1912. That would be the journeyman's mark there. That's the guy, the actual silversmith, the person. You don't always get that, so don't expect it. So yeah, this is very plain. Has a cut style burst cut base, and you can see how it's put together. And the thing that I showed you in part 3, it has this disc top. Not all Dresser
claret jugs have this disc top, but it is his design feature. Okay, what's nice on this one, you got a better copy of this, of the marks here, and you can see that is actually saying H&H in a stylized manner, and made in England 2521. So there we go. And you can see they've used some sort of white stuff, don't know what you'd call that, white stuff to stick the silver top to the glass. Yeah, these are very nice, and I will do a video on with my dresser claret jug. I'll do, because I've got a few silver top ones, and some of them are dresser, some of them aren't, some of them are looky likeys, so I can show you some of those differences, but that is the real thing. A couple of really nice early Georgian wine glasses here, but actually there's more. This one, probably from the 1840s, 50s, and you've got this one with the teardrop in, yeah, 1840s, folded foot, look at that, that is nice. And then you got two more different ones here. The one on the left looks like it might be soda glass. I might be wrong. You'd have to take it out and ping it. But it's got a knop or stem. That's very nice. So you can have to take my word for it on those dates, rather than pull out LM Bickerton and show you a crusty old picture. I thought, I have one very similar glass to those ones. I thought I'd show you. So the first thing I'll show you is what I meant about pinging it. Listen to this. Yeah, you can hear that go on. I haven't got much in the way of soda glass. I yanked this out of the kitchen, so that's quite a big glass, and it shouldn't have a nice ring to it. And yeah, that no equivalent. Yeah, so get that out of the way. So that's what you need to hear for soda glass. If you see something like this and you ping it and it goes clunk like that, soda glass, it means it's made on a continent. Okay, probably from Holland or somewhere like that. But anyway, yeah, it's continental and not English. Doesn't mean all the continental ones were all soda glass, but if it is soda glass, it's definitely continental. I hope that makes sense. Then, so what else about this? So if we look at it, you can see a certain wonkiness in the glass. I've shown you all this before a few times. You can see bubbles in there. Yeah, other than the bubble that's in the stem there. And then you've got what's known as a conical foot. Can you see that? And you can see there's tool marks on the foot. You should expect that. The foot should not look smooth. In fact, if somewhere on this is a massive tool mark. Yeah, can you see it there? Just here. It's actually on the outside. There's like a pull of glass just there. So yeah, someone's touched it with something when it's not quite dry or solidified, and messed up the smooth surface a bit. Not that it was completely smooth. This also has what's known as a folded foot. It's folded inwards, so the rim of the foot has been folded in on itself. Not all of them have that, but that's a nice sign of a 18th century glass. And you can see there's, I think that's bits in it, is it? Yeah, it's not coming off, so yeah. And then it has what's known as a broken pontle, which means it's where it's been snapped off. The conical foot is designed to stop the broken pontle from touching the table and scratching the table. You can see there's bubbles actually in the stem as well. You'd expect it to have this slight wonkiness about it. So yeah, so that is what real mid 18th century glass should feel like. And we have a couple of Webb Corbett decanters. This pattern's called Wheat and Wave, designed by Irene Stevens in the, I think, the 1950s. This is the Journal of the Glass Association, Volume 5. And yeah, so I did get that bit wrong. This is not a Irene Stevens design because it's a pre-war design. Irene Stevens didn't start working for Webb Corbett until after the war. So yeah, this is, I thought I'd go with an obscure reference because it's got this lovely advert from 1946 showing you how they would do it back in the day. It comes with glasses, the decanter. Also, I've got tumblers as well in this pattern. I've got the decanters. So yeah, it comes with at least glasses and tumblers. I don't know if there's anything else. I suspect there are probably also half-size decanters because I have half-size decanters from Webb Corbett in this shape. So yeah. Anyway, so this is it. And yeah, it's from 1935 and it's probably designed by Herbert Webb. This is nice. So Thomas Webb. Yeah, that is very nice. What else is here that's jumping out at me? Yeah, another Thomas Webb. I don't know much about this stuff, but we'll have a look in the book, see if we can find anything about it. And then you've got this huge Caenby rowing boat. Look at that, that's fantastic. That must be the biggest size they do. And then you've got these rather beautiful decanters here with matching stoppers. They're really nice. The stand's really nice as well, very elegant. This book is the Victorian Catalogue of Household Goods by Dorothy Bosomworth. Now, if you remember, we were looking at earlier Victorian decanter stands in part 3. So this is a late Victorian, and if you look at these stands, they're much more simple. None of them have that frilliness about them. Hang on, let me try and, if you look at this here, this kind of frilliness. A lot of the other earlier stands had this kind of finish on them, but none of these later ones. They're very simple. Yeah, I think, can I go back? Yeah, look, here's pickle stands as well. Similar thing. You can see they're all really simple. There's no frilly bits on them. Now, that stand I think is actually a bit more elegant than a lot of the ones we're seeing here. But yeah, that tells me it's at least late Victorian and possibly early 20th century. This glass is nice, a bit flash for me, but it's still very nice. And yeah, very nice. Mid-century ale glass there, that's quite good. This stand's got some really nice glass, some more Thomas Webb quilted glass here. Yeah, they're very good. This book is Victorian Decorative Glass by Cyril Manley. So every time I dive into Victorian art glass like this, it's a bruising experience. Yeah, I just don't know it well enough. So this piece here was a bit like the vase we were looking at. Now I know that Thomas Webb bought the the license to do this Burmese glass from Fenton in the US, and this is a Fenton piece with little drawings on it. Yeah, so this is Webb. I think this is Webb as well. I think, is that Webb number? Let me just double check. 69. So this is Webb. So maybe it's Webb, but maybe it's Fenton. Yeah. And then all of the nice quilted ones, like this one's not this one, but it's kind of like not quite as good as these ones. So these ones and these ones are Webb. This one is Stevens and Williams with this zigzag pattern, which we also saw a few seconds ago. So what is going on? Everybody's kind of mixing and matching now. Some of these things, these guys own patents on the way to do it. So I think Webb owned this rainbow quilted satin glass, and obviously they bought Burmese, so they're the people. If it's in the UK, it's most likely to be this, but it might be Fenton. Yeah, it's all a bit messy. There is another piece of quilted rainbow quilted glass in here that's like a bigger version of this. That's also down as Thomas Webb, but this is the only zigzaggy bit, and it's Stevens and Williams, and Stevens and Williams made little bowls in that shape, in this shape with this little crumpled top like this. So nobody had the rights over that. So yeah, it's all a bit messy. Yeah, and then you've got these ones up here, these threaded tazers. They look like something Stevens and Williams would do. That it might not be them, could be anybody really, but just that's what's popping into my head when I see them. They're very nice. And then you've got this. I was talking about these earlier, where it's done with electroplating onto the surface. That's cool. Getting to the end of what I'm going to do today. Got a couple of royal shaped decanters here from 1830s. This book is 19th Century British Glass by Hugh Wakefield, and it has this lovely advert in it by Apsley Pallets from 1838. And here's your decanters here. Now, lots of people made this style of decanter, so it's not necessarily Apsley Pellet that made those ones, but this is it. And normally books date them from 1830. This one looks like it's totally panel cut, like the ones we were looking at. Yeah, this is a nice little advert because it has all sorts of little bits on it that are handy to know about. Anyway, so yeah, that's what those decanters are. A nice Victorian decanter here, and that's probably Victorian, late Victorian that would be. That's quite nice as well. We're looking at the Caenby Catalogue for 1892 that I've downloaded from victorianpressglass.com, and yeah, so this is the decanter that we were looking at. It has the same little frilly lip. This is a very standard kind of decanter for that period. I'm pretty certain other people were making them. This is not pressed glass. If you look here, it says cut and engraved decanters. So Caenby were actually making cut glass and engraved glass at that time. And a lot of these were made to price. So you'd see this one, which is like the one we were looking at, although I don't think the one we were looking at had a cut base, would be the cheapest one. And then for a little bit more, you could have it with a cut neck, a little bit of cutting on the stopper. For a bit more, you could have this little bit of engraving and a cut neck. For even more, you could have cut body, cut neck, engraving, and a cut stopper. Do you know what I mean? It just goes on and on. And there's another one. I think this one's a bit even fancier cut, so a bit more money. These are slightly different shapes, but this one looks to be, might be the most expensive one there. So yeah, so that's what this is. I think this is around the middle of the range of when they were made. Probably we started making them 20-30 years earlier, and probably made them until, you know, World War I or something like that. Anyway, that's what this decanter is, and I thought I'd show you at least one example of someone that was making them, because you do see them out and about. There's nothing else jumping out at me back here. Yeah, this is giving you an idea of what it's like here. Just everywhere, there's just stuff. And yeah, this is another corridor that we're looking down that goes a long way. Ooh, some Davidson pressed glass that I've not seen before. I think I've seen these in the books, but not in real life. Yeah, it's funny that they're different. This one looks matte and that one doesn't look matte. That is a bit strange. So it's not the picture, it really is like that. And then these are quite nice, a little bit damaged. There. Very sweet with the little handles, quite like that.
Those date them to post 1867, because that's when Webb took the painting out for those kind of handles. So I've tried everything to find those Davidson obelisks. I can't find them in the Caenby catalogues either, so they're not Caenby. This is the cloudglass.com website. These are the registered patterns from that period. There doesn't seem like there's enough, but it might not have been a registered pattern. Yeah, so I've been through Victorian Press Glass website as well. The problem here is the catalogues don't go before 1928. I think is the oldest one they've got, and yeah, I've been through the galleries, and there isn't that much Davidson, so not there either. I've been to 20th Century Glass, and the oldest catalogue there, it's not there. Yeah, it's not actually in the database, and it's not in the encyclopedia. Actually, I didn't look in the shop, did I? Items. Let's see what is that going to work? British. Just check. Didn't look in the shop. Didn't look at. No, it's not there either. I just did a general search, and they're not there either. So I did say I've never seen them before. I do think they're rare, but I think they're too rare. Yeah, you can see they're just not. This is. I've done a few searches. This is yeah, Obelisk doesn't get me anything. This is just Davidson malachite glass, because that's the kind of glass it is, and you get a load of other, you know, the same colorway. So this is colorway was there. Look, this looks candlesticks are close-ish, but yeah, no, not found. I'm not doubting him. I feel he's right. I mean, you only have to look at things like this and these candlesticks, and he's in the right area. Just pinning it is eluding me. I took out the word Davidson to see if they would pop up. So these are purple Obelisk Glass, and these pair popped up, but they're in America. They don't know who made them. They want $895 for them. Yeah, $895. That makes those ones look absolutely like stunning bargains. And all they're saying is slag glass, purple white, neoclassical English, 19th century figurines, antique. There you go. Nothing I couldn't have told you, apart from the fact that they think they're English, because obviously they could be American. But yeah, anyway, they think they're English. I still have no absolute proof. A couple of really nice bits in here. Sabino, don't see much of that. That's very nice. And then this vase here, it looks like Thomas Webb or Stevens and Williams, so 1900. It's sold. Look at the base. Look at the base. It's really nice. Really nicely done. That is a beautiful thing. So I figured I'm not going to find that Webb Stevens Williams vase. It might even be a one-off, or they're just making very few of them. So to find them, I don't have the catalogues, and yeah, I don't think it's going to be in any of my books. Anyway, so I thought I'd go for the Sabino vase. So I haven't found it in opalescence, so I think it's quite rare. I did find this one in green, and it's on sale in America. Yeah, and they want $2,595 for it. And it's not a different size, it's still only 9 inches tall, which is biggish, but they're saying it's from the 1950s. Yeah, do I 100% trust this? So all they're saying is circa 1950s Sabino. So yeah, they probably are, but do they really know? Do they have a pattern number? Do they have a pattern name? No. So yeah, anyway, but they do want over $2,500 for it, which is a lot of money. I nearly forgot to point out the price on the one in Hemswell Antiques Centre was £295, so that's a bit less than over $2,500. Theirs was an opalescent one. I think that looks nicer. Just my opinion. This looks a bit duller. That looks a bit flasher, a bit more Lalique-esque, I would say. So anyway, just thought I'd point that out. There's the Romanian Basket here from the Padre Negra Glassworks. Oh, it says Murano. Yeah, I'm kind of not surprised they would say that, but that's not it. It is the little knob on the top. The way the whole thing is kind of gives it away. This is the All Origin website, and I thought I'd round off this visit with a visit to the classic glass fish on top of my TV set reference. So yeah, this is where all your Romanian fish come from. There's shoals of them in this collection, but it shows you about the factory, you know, how they were originally used, different patterns. But in this article, which shows you, you know, the rundown Paduria Niagara factory, what it was like in its heyday, etc., etc., what it's like today, is the baskets with the little knobble on the top that I was pointing out. See where the foot is made. This is just a different colorway, but it is exactly made the same way as the one that we were looking at. And these were made, I think, through the 70s and 80s, that kind of period. So anyway, that's what that little basket we were looking at is. It's not Murano, and they're often listed as Murano. And if the dealer is just going into Google and searching for glass baskets, a bunch of these will appear as Murano, and bang, that's what he's going to put on it. So there we have it, the end of my film from Hemswell Antiques Centre in Lincolnshire. The thing to bear in mind is that actually I was probably a bit more prescribed than I normally would be. In some places I film every bit of the glass in the place. Here I was hopping about a little bit, skipped some bits. So in actual fact, I could have probably made at least another couple more parts out of there if I was doing everything, maybe more. And then there's 3 more buildings that are just part of this antique centre, and then there are other buildings on the site. So yeah, it's just like you could go there. I think you could spend 2 days there just going through the whole place. So yeah, it is a huge place. And so with that said, it's worth a visit, even if it is in the middle of nowhere. And all of the references that I use will be in the description below. All the info about Hemswell Antiques Centre will be in the description below as well. And please remember to keep watching. Please wait for my next release of my website. It will be fantastic, I'm sure. I code everything myself from scratch, so yeah, it is quite time consuming. And yeah, so but it is coming, and there is quite a bit in it already, but I want to beef it down a bit more. And so with that said, please watch out for future videos. Please remember to like and subscribe, and have a good evening. Thank you. Good night.